All right, guys, what is going on? Hello, and welcome to the live stream. What up, man? Did you guys have a good weekend? What did you guys do? What did you guys do? I don't even know how to explain what it is that I want to say. I don't even know how to explain how I feel right now. I don't feel bad, but I will reference today's stream later on down the road. Maybe later this week. Man, just so much going on in the MLM industry as well. So between that and just things that I got going on, like it's been a very wild start to this year. Obviously, you know, today, let's go over to Nasdaq. Obviously, the Nasdaq being down 3%, you know, that's fucking wild. Today, you know, we haven't seen a day like that in a while. The last one was December 18th. I don't remember what happened the 18th. Right, almost 4%. Another wild day. Today, gap down yesterday, Sunday in the evening, when the market's open, lower, and it's been getting wrecked since then. And then obviously ES has done the same thing. We reached that lower imbalance. If we were looking at this like overall bullish, then this to me would be or should have been a breakaway. Since we left the bottom half open, that's relatively bullish in my opinion. It's hard to say. We're near 50% of this range as well as this one as well. So to me, that means I am not trading today. I am definitely not trading today. So funny enough, I told you last week I had sold into that high. And now the other half of that position is in a little bit of drawdown, but when you're in from the low, you're not too worried about it. No ego, though. No ego. All right, what's good? Eminem, Toby, Willow, Mason, 2020, Larry, Monkey, Eberneth, Naruto, Sean, Bazell, Convicted Capitalist, Alexandra, Marvelous, Shay, Smiley, Jordan, D. Yeah, Black Swan today. I don't know what's going on, bro. Probably the crypto, probably the fucking AI, probably the president. I mean, who knows, man? Who knows? Hayat, Juan B, Victor. Yeah, babies do get sick, Willow. That is a thing. What's good? Fortune, Felix, Big James, Alexis. I got it right that time. What's good? Leon, what's good? Lee Bright. We got a lot of members in here today, man. We got a whole lot of members in here today. Let's go ahead and bump that up to everybody who is subscribed. Just in case there's any non-members in here that want to say hello. I've had the chat closed for, I don't know, a couple weeks or so, but what do I think about today's madness, man? I don't know. I mean, hell, when's the last time you saw Nasdaq down little over 3%, and Dow being green? When was the last time you saw something like that? You know what I'm saying? When was the let's look at that again. Massive range, down closed day, probably a down closed day. Just ugly. And then Dow is like, I'll gap lower too, but I'm going to trade higher. You don't see that very often. What's good, Flacco? The low was made when people were still asleep. Yeah. What's good, BG? So, what are my thoughts, man? I don't know. I wouldn't trade this at all. I would not trade this at all. If I had to, I don't know. If I had to, I'd probably just have to. 44,513. The reason I zoomed in on that, I wanted to see if they were equal or if the low on the right was slightly higher, and it's not. But that could still be seen as equal lows to the general public. And given that the strength is in Dow, if we look at our equities open today, scrunch that up. If we looked at regular trading hours by itself, right, gap down, and anyone who bought near the open or just after, you know, they're in profit, I could see stops being here. But this just, I don't like this at all. I really don't. You know what I mean? That doesn't even look like a stop run. Remember we went over that on Nasdaq last week? I think I had showed you the wick on the downside and it was like that, but on the downside, and I was like, that's not a stop run, and then it, you know, ripped ass after that. That's kind of the same idea here. You know, you got some highs, beautiful highs, and that has been met but hasn't traded to it and through it. We don't have a run above the highs. We just have a little, just, what is that? You know what I mean? So part of me doesn't want to short because the strength is in Dow. I would rather be long, I guess. I don't know. My confidence is 0. Does that make sense? I have no confidence in that. What's good, Robert? Thinking ES can come down to 59.93. I think if I trade today, I'm going to take a fucking L. That's what I think. And when you think something like that, you know, it's best to not trade. You know what I mean? All the markups are still there from the other day. Might have to clean that up a little bit, but this is just higher highs here and then lower lows here. This is, you know, I'm glad I'm doing stuff today because I am absolutely not interested in today's price action. Now, I'm not saying that it isn't tradable. You know, I say that all the time. Like, oh, Twitter thinks it's horrible, but I'm out here catching the daily range. Like, I am definitely not doing that today. Okay. This is just, this ain't for me, chat. This ain't for me. Today's environment is not for me. Third. Okay. So the highs in regular trading hours is here and here, I think. Because this is London and this is an evening session. So the electronic side, the liquidity would technically be there. 44,000. I would just round up to 800. I could see that being an upside. This just looks so bad. Let me just zoom out real quick. I'm just trying to put together a storyline real quick. right? Price is like a story. I don't know if you guys remember that stream from forever ago. Green. We'll just do it gray, actually. It's supposed to be that. Gray box imbalance on the daily. I'm trying to look over here and see if there's anything that's noteworthy. Oh, you bet your ass. You bet your ass. Let's just give it a markup real quick. That's noteworthy. Okay. Going back to, we're still on the March 2025 contract. Oh, 70 viewers. Nice. Appreciate that. Drop some likes. I would greatly appreciate it. We went to the weekly time frame. Don't forget that. And we do have a gap, right? Which is seen on the daily, but it's easier seen on the weekly. So we went to the weekly, now we're on the daily, and we see here, clear as day, Friday the 15th of November, the close of that week, with the open of the following week, which is, it's technically Sunday, but it counts as a Monday's candle, right? And so that's right here. And it's weird to some people, like, why would you use levels like that? 44,000 to 44,029. Look at today. You're going to tell me, oh, well, that's fucking stupid. Look at the precision on that. Look at the absolute elite precision on that. Now, look, I wasn't even on the charts until I started streaming today. I didn't look at Dow, at least. I mean, I was looking at ES, I was looking at NQ, and I was kind of like, ugh. And then that was it. I was like, we'll figure it out on stream. But I did not look at this prior. Okay, so again, I'm just trying to get a storyline for today. Indices, dog shit. Okay, but what has Dow done? We reached into a daily imbalance, which is here, right? That would be the day of January 21st. That would be the high end of January 17th candle, this up candle here. And the low of January 22nd, this small up candle here, right? That Wednesday of capturing Dow Jones's range, right? And I recorded it for you. Inside of that imbalance, we traded again down and into on the weekly time frame. I wouldn't consider this an inversion. I mean, that imbalance, it was met, traded through, and we are back into it. But remember, if you're on a weekly and monthly time frame, these ranges are going to be very, very large. And although that is, I guess it's there, that weekly range is way beyond the range of the daily, right? Which is fine. It's a higher time frame. It typically will do that. No problem. There's no gaps in here. There's no real gaps in here either. You got one here, and I mean, there's a couple other places on this chart, like especially way up here. But what I'm looking at is what did we trade into? And again, it's that gap right here. All right, okay. So when we go back to a 5-minute time frame, this makes sense, right? You've got the, I guess, weekly inversion, which is a fat range. And I typically would not have that on my chart. It's a 530 point range. Like, what do you want me to do with that? I got to narrow it down. But now, at least you know that it's there, okay? So if we take that off and just have the daily imbalance, you could cut that in half as per usual, right? Every concept has a premium discount. Every concept has an inversion. And now what you'll see, and I'm sure you could have eyeballed it, but now what you can see is what? The halfway point is right at the same, damn near the same price point as that inverted gap on the weekly. Coincidence? I don't know. You tell me, chat. You tell me. So during London, like Flacco or one of you said that the low was set during when US was asleep. That's why London's such a finesse. London finesses US traders all the time, because we're asleep. We can't do anything. So, well, besides like robots and AIs and shit, but you get what I'm saying. Like if we're not in front of the charts making decisions, we can't do anything. But anyway, that's our current low of the day. So because we reacted off of something on the higher time frame, we've been bullish since then. Dow has the strength, even though the other indices are getting bullied and slapped around. The upside has got to be 44,800, which that means there's got to be at least 100 point move or more from here. So do I like buying after such a massive rally? No. I don't like it. Will I do it? Sometimes. I don't always like doing it though. So let's further investigate, further break it down just to see what is taking place. Electronic trading hours still, we have not gone over to regular. We're still in electronic. Okay. So Friday's close, Sunday's open. We gapped down. We traded into the premium end of it, obviously, and then into the everything I just mentioned. And we traded through the gap, right? Every concept has a premium discount, upper half, lower half, midpoint. Every concept has an inversion. Well, this was bearish. And if you look at this like a what? Oh, it's a buy model. That's what it looks like to me, at least. So it looks a little skewed. Sometimes they are. I don't make the rules. I just try to play by them. Consolidation, liquidity, distribution, manipulation. All of these lows cleaned out during London. Low risk buy. We consolidate, which is what? First stage accumulation. What should this be? Second stage, or the second leg of accumulation. So with that information, I think we could trade higher. Again, given that we've traded higher and higher and higher and higher, we haven't had too many retracements other than whatever that is, since equities, right? Equities open, wasted no time and just rallied, a little bit of a bull flag here, and then traded through the gap, back into Sunday's gap. Pay attention, that's the discount end. Yes, Mason. We got to bring that song back. I used to listen to that song when I was like not even 10 years old. At the skating rink. I don't know if you guys ever been to a skating roller rink or whatever it's called. The 90s were a good time. You know what I mean? But anyway, back into the discount end of Sunday's gap. And then we launched. And then here's a retracement. What did we even retrace into? What did we retrace into? Besides a 15-minute imbalance. I don't know. That's hard to justify longs, in my opinion. That's hard for me to justify longs. But at least now you know what it looks like to get a more understanding of what price is done, where it's likely to go, why it should go there, what stage you're at in a potential market maker buy model. You've also been given, my confidence in this, obviously. I told you earlier, I'm not willing to trade this. I will watch it. I'll follow up later this evening to see what happens, but there's a part of me that might have wanted to long earlier, maybe. But I'm just not confident in longing because we have had no real retracement. I'm definitely not confident in shorting because of these highs up here. I'm just not confident in that. If I were the one, I don't think price is going to do this, but if I was the one behind the strings, I would drag it lower, clear the lows here, some internal liquidity, and then run it higher. Shake out the longs, shake out the paper hands, you know, let the diamond hands kind of shit themselves a little bit, and then jam it up there to 44.8, something like that. Again, that's what I would like to see. I don't think that's going to happen though. So, now, look, chat, I can't come on here every single day and be right every single day. I just I'm not like that. You know, I wish I was. I wish I could do that for you, but I cannot. I cannot. So how you like that marketing? Buy my course. Buy my course. For those of you watching that don't know me, I don't have a course. I have 2 that are free. I have no paid course. Just to make sure you guys know that. I feel like I was not trying to fuck around and find out. Yeah, you checked the FAFO chart and acted accordingly. That's good. So did I. Fed funds rate this week. How do you apply the whole levels? That is a good question. If I'm looking to enter, I'll try and enter near or at a 0, 20, 50, or 80 level. If it goes lower than that, then maybe like a 2, 5, 8, or again, the 0 level. It doesn't always end up like that. But TPing, I'm looking for the next available 0, 2, 5, or 8 level above a high or below a low if I'm short. It does get more complex than that, but that's the basic answer to that question. Flacco, the higher time frames, I'm just not sure, bro. I'm really not. I mean, the daily, we are so mixed between, again, the 3 indices. Dow higher today, right? Let's pull this up again. Dow being higher, ES being down almost 2%. Nasdaq still selling off. You know what I mean? I mean, we already made the low of the day, most likely. But I'm saying, you know, we were down 3%. Now it's 3.4. Like, it's just back into the range. This is dog shit. This gap is not even close to it. This is just very, very weak. And I'm sure if we go look at the tech stocks, they're probably bodied. They're probably bodied. We go take a look at the Nasdaq. Holy shit. Sorry, excuse my language, chat. That's not surprising. A gap down after a big ass gap up like that. That's not uncommon. Nvidia got dumped 16% on the day for Nvidia. Yikes. Big yikes. Nancy Pelosi just bought Nvidia, I think, recently. So she's definitely getting I don't want to see her portfolio. I'd probably throw up, to be honest with you. At least today. I mean, overall, she's the best trader to ever do it. But today, she's probably not checking her portfolio. She's probably like, we're going to wait a couple weeks on that. Cisco Systems, they're down about 5% as well. I'm assuming they're coming off of all-time highs or close to it. That's not surprising. You know, given a run from 45 up to 62, pullback is, you know, this would be a good example in the 48 laws of trading as well, right? One of the laws is bulls take the stairs, bears jump out the window. And you see that clearly here, bulls taking the stairs and bears jumping out the window. So that's a classic example of that. Google, they're down 3%. This daily chart is I don't even know what to do with that. We're just going to move on. Microsoft, they as well gap down. Tesla, this looks fucking nasty. That looks dirty. Intel, you know, funny enough, Intel's been dog shit. Believe it or not, I actually think Intel might be a long here. It might be a long here, to be honest. If we go out to a month, I'll tell you why. If we go out to a monthly chart, we had some lows from 2012. I was almost trading then, but not quite. And we came all the way down for that. And so we also took out these lows here. And it's just a general big ass consolidation. So I feel like there's some level of accumulation here. I would not put a lot of money into this. This to me is more along the lines of risky than smart. Intel obviously lagging behind in the chip market compared to someone like Nvidia, but I don't know. I think it's a decent long, but in short, no pun intended, Nasdaq today is hot dog water, and there is no other way of putting that. So, oh my goodness, Pelosi was long VST as well. Yikes. That's a yikes. All right, I'll go over 10 one more time. I made a YouTube video about this a couple days ago, or maybe like a week ago. Nancy Pelosi longed this one, and I found it very interesting because Tempest AI, again, not financial advice. I don't own shares at the moment or options or anything. I don't have anything related to this stock yet. But what's interesting about this, if you go to their website, tempest.com, or just Google Tempest and you can look at it, they've basically integrated healthcare and AI together. So I'm guessing AI scans images or scans maybe health data related to you and can tailor healthcare, I guess, to your specific needs. So I found that to be interesting. And I think she had longed down in here around the 35, 32 area. She had bought option contracts at the $20 strike price. So she bought in the money contracts for, I believe, January of 2026. So it's like a leap. It's a 1 year, you know, length of option contracts, but it was reported on the 20th and it was a few days behind. I think she got in on the 16th. Again, I could be wrong based on what I looked at, but I think she's long from here. So she waited for liquidity to be swept and then got in on a down day. So that's why I told you, bro, she's the greatest trader ever. She's the best to ever do it. But that's what happens when you're in Congress and you have insider information. Because then, like, the next day, all this shit goes down. Well, sorry, let me rephrase. News comes out and then the stocks just go up and she makes an absolute shit ton of money. But if she also got in on VST, things are not looking good today for that. And now you kind of see why when I look at a chart like this, even this, let's say this was a 5-minute time frame. I look at this and I go, bruh, you want me to long after a move? Like, you want me to long at all-time highs? You want me to long when there's, you know, no retracement? Like, no, bro. I'd feel a lot better taking out 132. You know, this low here, right? Let the shareholders panic sell. Scoop up those shares, maybe some option contracts for like 80 or 100 in the money call options. That might be very expensive though. you know, and let it go. Or if you wanted to be cheeky, if you want really, really high ROI, it's very, very high risk, but it's high ROI. You could buy some, or I could look to buy some out of the money call options at 200. So buying like a $200 strike when it's at 120 or 130, it would take a significant move to get there, but that's why they're so cheap. They're high risk, but they're high reward. So, you know, we'll have to see. But let's go take a look at the silver. Damn you, silver. It's seasonally bullish, and you have not been. You have not been. I would take note of that. Indices lower, metals lower too. That's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy. And the dollar is flat. Slightly lower. Yo, what a day, chat. What a day. Indices lower, metals lower. This is gross. This is absolutely gross. It's just gross, chat. Not looking good. Not looking good. We'll watch it a few more minutes, but outside of what we talked about, I really don't have much. So if you guys have any questions, throw them into the chat. Throw them into the chat. Is the course $24.99? No. What's $24.99 is the SMS membership, which gets you, I think the greatest thing is the Discord community. But you get the sniper badge. You see everybody in the chat, like Flacco's blue. A lot of the others are gold because they've been here for 12 months. But, you know, you go from bronze to silver to green and then blue, and then 1 year is the gold sniper. So you get the loyalty badge, you get the chat access to the live streams, which a lot of them are closed. I opened it today though. You get 2 market reviews every single week, and you get access to some older videos that I made specifically for members only. And a lot of the streams were saved as member only videos as well. So most of what I do is free, and the community is paywalled, and some of the like top-notch content, in my opinion, is paywalled as well. But again, if you don't like paying for education, I think that's, you know, that's your decision. But, you know, I invest a lot in my education. I spend more than $25 a month on books. So most of it's free, but that's the only paid option. Ask anybody in the chat. Have I ever DM'd you? Have I ever came to you and said, buy a $1,000 course, buy a $5,000 course? I have never once done that. I've never asked for that. I don't even ask for donations either. You know, Willow was very kind, gave me $50 the other day. You know, that's the first thing I said. I'm like, broski, you don't have to do that. It's appreciated, but you guys don't have to do that. But that's what that membership is. So you get Discord access, and you can see people in the chat, you know, they like being a member here. They like being in the Discord. I have a very high retention here. Not to brag or anything, but the retention is what it is. Got about 175 or 170 members or something like that. It fluctuates, of course, but it's right around the 170. What's the best time to trade, or what is your time? Do you trade between the New York session, I think you meant to say? I don't really like trading equities open. I like trading a little bit after. Up until about 10:30. If I'm not in a trade by 10:30, I wait for the PM session. And then yeah, I'll try to probably, the timing is better if they're around macros. They don't have to be, but they are typically better when they are. It's either the last 10 minutes or the first 10 minutes of every hour. So there's the short and sweet of that. Appreciate that, Bruce. Mason says she has like 100 years of experience. Bro is mean. Bro is mean. You just called her an old geezer. Thank you, Leon and Stephanie. Yeah, Willow. No, I agree. Tithing is biblical. Biblical, yeah. The only difference is what is the proper tithe, though, because there are people out there that believe that 10% is not anywhere in the Bible. And I'm gonna keep it crispy with you, like I always do. I've never seen that either. So the whole 10% of the income, that I think can be debated. But I do believe that God loves a generous heart, though. You know what I mean? So maybe we can have a conversation about that one day. But anyway, trying to be better at that in 2025. And I know you not only work your ass off for us, but you also give back. Yes, I do. On behalf of the community, though, I don't. Last time I gave, we gave the dude and he shouted me out. And I was like, bro, this is on behalf of the SMS community. It ain't me. It's our community. But it's fine. We put shoes on kids' feet. We put backpacks on their backs. We put books in their fucking hands, Other traders and other communities out there help put fucking windows up in the wall and desks and all kind of shit. So yeah, we the US dollar goes a lot way in other countries, I'll say that. Like northern Pakistan and wherever else. Kellen said, will you do any live trading sessions? Probably not. Probably not. I've done some AM sessions this year. I've only done like 2 of them because, I have sleeping issues. All right. And I'll just leave it at that. But, like we're doing today, for example, I'm looking for potentially higher pricing on Dow Jones, and I'll either be right or wrong. And that's that. But I do record a lot of trades. I don't record all of them. Sometimes if I record a trade and it's a loss, probably won't post it, but I'm letting you know verbally it happens. I take a trade, it hits stop loss. I mean, why, what am I supposed to do? I got it wrong. But I would never tell you like, oh, buy it, short it. I would not do that. But I will tell you, I'm watching this, I'm watching that. We did that the other day on what was it? NQ. I was saying this should be an inversion. This should be a breakaway imbalance. I was wrong. It traded through the inversion, but it respected the breakaway. And then we launched higher, and that's about as close as we're going to get. I just don't want to get in any type of legal trouble. You understand? That's why I have a rolling disclaimer. I don't just do a disclaimer at the beginning and then go on. I keep up the rolling disclaimer because the US government does not fuck around. They do not fuck around. So, that's why I always sprinkle in, I'm not a financial advisor, not a trade recommendation. It's because it's not. And I'm not I can't legally give you trade advice. And I want to help you as much as I can, but I'm not going to tell you to press buttons, if that makes sense. I don't want to be tied up in some court bullshit because one of you idiots went all in on some bullshit and lost a lot of money and now you're going to sue me. I'm not trying to do that. We only did that one time and it was a joke, obviously, but we saw like a buy, I think it was on ES, and I don't know if it was Mason or somebody, but I was like, bro, you better go all in. You better take out all your credit cards, put all that bitch into ES. Dennis, y'all remember that? I was like, yo, Dennis, dog. Dennis, the man is like, yo, hit that 1 to 3. Put your whole net worth on ES. All the chips on the table. That bitch ran, bro. That bitch ran higher. And then Dennis came back the next day or the other day. I was like, yo, Dennis, you tripled that net worth, dog. And I don't think he got in. So I was just like, you missed out, brother. That was your once in a lifetime opportunity to triple your net worth and you missed it. So, but other than that, no, I don't tell people to buy or sell. I don't do that. I don't do it. I do not do it. Oh, this just looks so bad. This just looks so bad. You know, this just makes me want to take a nap, to be honest. I'd rather just take a nap and then just see what happens. And no, Flacco, nobody's ever sued me, bro. Nobody. If you guys catch my drift. Some of you might not be old enough to get that, but for those of you that have known me since 2021, you might get that reference. But no, I've never been sued by anybody. Oh, and they gave a tenth to the Lord. Right, but was it a tenth of their money, or was it a tenth of like their sheep and, you know, I don't know, camels and shit or whatever they had? I think somebody came along and said, you know what? They gave 10% of their sheep, but I don't want that shit. I want 10% of your cash. Give me that. That's what I think happened. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I can't speak on behalf of the Lord. You understand? So that's pure speculation, but it sounds like that's what happened. That's what it sounds like. Oh, appreciate that, Willow. Somehow ended up with a stop loss. Yo, if you buy the low and still get stopped out somehow, like maybe trading is just not it. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe the candlesticks aren't for you. I don't know what happened to Dennis. Someone find him. Someone find Dennis. Where did he go? Where did he go? And yeah, well, that is a good story. I like that one. Spiritually, it was a great story. Financially, that was probably not the best decision to make. But then again, you know, that time was a different time than where we are. Giving back and helping others at the end of the day. Yep. I agree. You know, let me end it on this then, chat. Let me end it on this. Brian said Leviticus 27:30 to 32, King James Version, I believe that means, talks more about the tenth being for the Lord, saying that it's holy for the Lord, but not a must. I don't know. I'm not really sure who gave King James the authority to adjust the Bible, but again, I don't speak for God. All right, so that's just speculation. But I will say this. Can you be generous with money? Absolutely. Absolutely. Can you be generous even without money? Of course you can. Of course you can. You can provide somebody with a quote that's helpful. I do that all the time. You could provide somebody with a book recommendation. I do that all the time. You could give somebody some advice, which I don't give on here. You could give somebody encouragement. You could give somebody maybe a used book that you have or some of your stuff, or let them borrow something. But nobody really ever borrows anything. If you let somebody borrow something, you basically gave it to them, especially when it comes to money. Hey, let me borrow $20. Bro, if you give them that $20, that shit's gone. Okay? So just write that down. You could be generous with your time. You know, you could spend time with somebody. And yeah, so there are, or maybe some sort of service, you know, maybe they're moving and they don't really have money, but you go help them out. You move shit. Maybe they get you a pizza or something. That's how I got into Red Bull when I was a kid. I used to play basketball in the neighborhood, and we were playing one time, and then this guy came out of his house and he was like, "Hey, I'm moving, but you know, I still got some shit to move. Can you guys help me out?" And so, of course, you know, we were just young kids and we helped him. It was like probably 30 minutes. And then he gave us all Red Bull. And then I drank it and I was like, this tastes like shit. What the fuck is this? And then many, many years later, I got back into Red Bull. But, you know, it's just stuff like that. It's just being generous. And don't ask me how this works because I don't know. But it always comes back around to you. So, and it usually comes back more than the equivalent of what you gave. Does that make sense, chat? Drop some ones if you're hearing me out here. I know Sunday was yesterday. You know, I know church was yesterday. But, you know, I'm 31 years old, bro. I don't know everything, but I know a few things. And that's one thing that I don't know how it works. We all drive cars that we may not know how the engines work, but we drive them, so we know. You know what I mean? And again, I don't know the math behind it, but it usually comes back to you more than what you gave. So as long as you give unconditionally. And that's part of the reason why most of what I do is free. It's unconditional. You just have to watch it. That's it. You know? I don't put a gun to your head and say, buy my membership. You know? I might get more sales that way, but I don't know. Might go to jail too. So, you know? It all comes back though. I'll tell you what, chat. Try it. Okay? Try it. And prove me wrong. Be generous today, tomorrow, sometime next week, and wait 6 months, maybe a year. But again, the rule is it has to be unconditional, meaning you do something, you don't expect a return, you don't ask for a return, you just do it just to do it. Nobody knows except you. It's just between you and the Lord. That's it. And you come back in a year and tell me, oh no, John, you were back in January, man, you were full of bullshit. Do it. Prove me wrong. The next day after I give you that 50, I had my biggest day on Amazon. 4x. Nice. My previous all-time highs. Yeah, see? That's what I'm saying. It's not always that immediate, but it usually comes back. I'm not, look, as much as I want to give you examples of it in my own life, I can't. I just can't. I told myself there's certain things that I do nobody will know. Nobody. Except the person or organization that's receiving the blessing, they'll know. But that's it. I will not go around telling everybody what I did or what we did or what. No. Because then that takes away the value. Right? I'm not showing up with cameras and fucking ring lights and all that bullshit. I'm not doing it. It's not doing it. So anyway, I feel like that's a good note to end it on. Indices have not done anything as of like the last hour, really. Like the whole time we've been here on stream, we really haven't done a lot. But at least, you know, I walked you through top-down analysis, mostly for the most part, you know, top-down analysis. In closing, right, we went to the weekly, went down to the daily, then we looked at maybe a 15-minute, I think, and then into the smaller time frames. We looked at higher time frame imbalances. We looked at higher time frame gaps, weekly gaps, excuse me, Sunday's open. We figured out why the low of the day was here during London, time price context, why there's some lows in here. gap, right, being respected initially, but then being traded through. It was once bearish, now bullish, right? So what you sow, you shall reap. Bam. And this looks like Dow will continue higher. It looks like it. Doesn't mean it will, but it looks like it really wants to get above 773. And I think 44,800 could be on the table. If we don't get there, I won't be shocked though. If we just rip lower, I won't be shocked. But I'm not afraid to say it. I don't think that I can trade this particular environment on today. I don't think I can trade this. You know what I mean? I'm very proud of myself for other trades, for other stunting and low probability conditions. You know, today is not that for me. It's just not. I've got things on my mind. I got things I got to do. This just looks awful to me. Maybe it looks beautiful to others, but this looks awful to me. I still at least want to try and give you a bias, you know, that I can be right or wrong on, because I always want that challenge. You know what I mean? The harder the conditions, the more fun it is to beat. You know what I'm saying? Even if I don't trade, because I'm not taking a trade. But if we get that 44,800 level, I'll feel good about that, because it's like, yeah, you were in ass conditions, but still found something. You found that diamond in the rough, that needle in the haystack. You know, it's just, what is it called? It's the competition, bro. You know, it's the competitiveness. I'm not going to back down from a challenge, you know? So with that being said, y'all be good. Y'all be blessed. Have an amazing rest of your day. I will see you guys tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow on the 28th. Same time, same place. And that is the only alert that I have for today. Dow Jones 44,773. All right. See y'all tomorrow. Thanks, Alexandra. Appreciate that, dog. Appreciate ya.
That's all. call me